Well, I'm out in Garden Valley. That's just a beautiful part of the world that's just west of Roseburg. And Larry Smith, a fellow I've known for quite a long time, who is a fine craftsman in his own right, has decided he does not need any longer the forging press that he built years ago. And I've decided that maybe I do. So Cy Swan and I are down here. Cy is going to buy from me the rotary three-phase converter that's part of this package. And we're going to see if we can load these tools up and get them back to our shops. So Larry's made a bunch of dies. He's just a high-end knife maker, a metal worker, retired, I think, from the railroad. He just does amazing things, including building this press to factory specifications, and then setting up the jigs he needed for his knife making. So years ago, when I put up the video about my tool tank, or someplace along the line, there were comments saying, why in the world do you need a crane on that truck? Well, the uses are legion, and this is just one more morning when I would just be stuck, hamstrung, without a crane on this outfit. Ladder dies, sizing dies.
Scott got this factory phase converter from Larry, and mine's just been a haywire thing from 15-20 years ago, and that I start with a pony motor and a fan belt, and this will be a lot nicer setup for me to just turn a switch and it's on. Got to be a little bit careful about taking this apart. The capacitors can still be charged. They can give you a pretty good zap. We don't need that. And we need to be able to put all the wires back where they belong. There's 4 of them coming out of the main motor to the capacitor box, and then we're going to take the whole panel off the wall. But this has to be a disconnect here.
So Cy, this is a little smaller motor than the one you're using at home. Is it 10 horse?
This is a 10. Mine's a 10.
Oh, same.
Mine is a smaller footprint motor than this, but it's a 10, and I may take that motor out and put it in my big lathe.
Oh yeah.
Because my bearings are shot in that motor, so.
That'd be slick.
Yeah.
So these are the
That's
capacitors?
a Desco. That's,
Good motor?
yeah, well, I mean, I bought it all from Desco, so.
Oh, I see. The whole setup.
You have the whole setup, just the way it is. Well, I put it on, made a stand for it.
Sure.
So anyhow, these are the capacitors here. I don't know a hell of a lot about them. Just that they contain a whole bunch of electricity, and they are what is able to spin this big motor when you turn the switch on. Otherwise, it would just sit there and go rah, 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 rah.
Just off household current wouldn't do it without the capacitors.
Well, you have to have something to start the motor.
I see.
Yeah, right.
I see. Regardless of how much current's going in, you got to have something to kick the motor.
Right. And these motors.
And that's why you use a pony motor, because a pony motor spins the motor to get it started. So all the capacitors do is make it so that when you flip a switch, it kicks the motor in, and you don't have to have a pony motor.
Slick. All right, boys, pay attention. Be careful. I'll load this press.
Okay.
This is going to do it, Si. There he did the sweet job, countersunk the screws. When we get this all taken care of today, we're going to show you a couple of knives that Larry's made. Really remarkable. Do that.
That's nice. Yeah.
Oh.
And that's just from that moving right there underneath this bolster. There's springs and pins and stuff that stick up that actuate all those springs and stuff.
And what kind of handle is that?
That is giraffe bone.
Giraffe bone.
I had a really.
Now I know that with a 200-pound Chambersburg General Utility hammer and a big old fly press. I'm a spoiled man, and I've got all the forging equipment that a reasonable person could want. Or at least that's what I thought until Cy bought a forging press about 3 or 4 years ago, and I began to hear about the projects he was taking on and how much easier it was to do a good job on some things with a forging press. So when Larry called me about a week ago and said that he was going to sell this thing and wondered if I was interested, I thought for about a day and then called him up and said, yes, I'll take it. Because when I think carefully about this, there have been very few times in my life that, having put off a big or expensive tool purchase and then finally caving in and buying that piece of equipment, there have been very few times that I didn't very soon look back over my shoulder and think, how did I get along without that thing?
No way.
So, you've probably seen some of my clevises, and not one of them are as slick as that one. Look at that. And not one of them are on my truck either. Wow, look at that. The very one. You take it down till it touches and then back it off just a little so it doesn't bind. First project for this forging press is going to be to upset the heads on some really big rivets that I'm going to be putting in the entry gate that I've been working on now for 2 months and that I need to finish up right away. Thanks for watching Essential Craftsman, and keep up the good work.